What you guys today, we're taking a look at your USB flash drive is not safe, and we're going to show you how to fix it today. Now, if you think your USB flash drive is secure, then think again. If your USB flash drive gets lost or stolen, anyone can access the files unless it's encrypted. And this is why you should encrypt your USB flash drive with something like BitLocker, which is built into Windows. You can use BitLocker to go on your USB flash drive. This means that you'll be able to encrypt the drive with 256-bit encryption, and that means if you dropped your flash drive out in the street and someone picked it up and took it home, hackers will not be able to gain access to that data because they won't know what your BitLocker key is to gain access to the drive. So that's what we're going to be setting up today, and I'll show you how secure this is and why you should be doing it. So I've got a USB flash drive right here, and I've called it personal because this is where I'll be keeping personal information on here. So let's go ahead and create a text document here, and we're going to call this passwords. This will be all of the passwords that I like to use on a daily basis. So let me go ahead and put passwords here, and I'll show you exactly how to set this up to make it super secure and stop people from gaining access to this, to be able to gain access to your bank, Google accounts, or whatever other accounts you've got passwords stored inside here. So let me show you how I would basically set this up. So I would say, for instance, Google, and I would then put equals, and I'll put the password. Now, of course, only you are going to be able to view this. So it's important that you put it out in the format that you understand and the way you like. So you might be thinking that this is not too secure because if someone gets hold of it, they'll be able to see this information. And unfortunately, they won't be able to because they won't have the encryption key password to gain access to it. Also, we will password this document as well. So you can list out your passwords here. You can have it in what format works for you. I'm going to save this, and it's now saved on this USB flash drive. Now, at the moment, it's vulnerable. I can open this up, but I'm going to right click and add to archive. What this is going to do is allow us to put a password and an encryption on that particular passwords document, because this is sensitive information. This is the key to the gateway to all of the sites that you visit. So I'm going to go ahead and put in a password right here. And again, you would want to use something really secure here that is not one of your junk passwords. This has to be a special password that you can memorize. We've got this on AES 256, and you can encrypt file names as well right here. If you wanted to, you can check mark that. And once this is done, that document will be passworded and encrypted. And that's going to be our first layer of security for this precious document. Now, photos and other stuff that you store on your particular drive is going to be perfectly fine because we're going to encrypt that as well with BitLocker. But this one is encrypted inside another encryption software. So here we have the document right here. So I'm just going to remove this and delete it from the system. Now we have our encrypted actual document here. So if you want to open this, it's going to show you the password. You can't see inside. It's not going to show you inside the actual document until you put that password in. Next, we're going to use BitLocker. So go to this PC, right click on the actual USB flash drive, and you will see right here, turn on BitLocker. Now, this is not going to encrypt the whole computer. This is just going to encrypt the USB flash drive. So here we're going to be using a password to unlock this drive. So let's go ahead and check mark that. And we can now enter in a password. This needs to be a secure password. You can use my smart card to unlock this drive as well, but we're just going to use the password method for this USB flash drive. So I'm going to go ahead and enter in a nice secure password. Again, this doesn't need to be one of your junk throwaway passwords. This needs to be a secure password that you remember and you don't write it down. Once you're happy, you can click on next, and this will move on to the next stage. So now I would suggest that you save this to a Microsoft account. This will be a lot more easier to recover if you save it to a Microsoft account. I understand a lot of people don't want anything to do with Microsoft, so you can save this to a file and store this somewhere away from the computer. It needs to be in a safe location so you can always recover your drive if you forget your password. Saving it to a Microsoft account is super easy to recover. That's why I suggest using save it to your Microsoft account. If you don't want anything to do with Microsoft, then you shouldn't probably be using BitLocker. But anyway, we'll go ahead and save that to a file just to appease everyone in the comments section. Next, you can encrypt the use space only if you wish for faster and best for new PCs and drives, but I'm going to encrypt the entire drive, which is slower but best for PCs and drives already in use. So I'm going to do that right here because I want to encrypt the whole drive. So now we've got our drive up there, you can see it, and now we can click next, and it says compatible mode, best for drives that can be moved from this device, i.e. from device to device. Or you can do new encryption mode, best for fixed drives on this device, i.e. it's going to stay in your home. You can choose which one suits you. Are you ready to encrypt your drive? It's going to go through and ask you, are you ready? We're going to start encrypting. You'll see a little padlock there right now, and it's starting to encrypt that drive. And it's going to encrypt the whole drive, so depending on the size of the drive will determine how long this takes. Now you can see this is only a 30-odd gig drive, which means it's only going to be able to store only 32 gigabytes of data. And that's perfectly fine for passwords and small little documents, sensitive information, or any other personal information that you store on this USB flash drive will be encrypted with 256-bit encryption. That means no one is going to be able to gain access to this if you drop it out in the street, because they won't have the file or key to be able to reset it. That means when they get it home, they are not going to be able to decrypt this and be able to gain access to all the contents inside. If they did manage to crack it, which I very much doubt, that they would then not be able to gain access to the passwords folder in there, because that's also encrypted and also passworded. So you'd have to go through two lots. So you've got encryption on this drive is now complete. You can manage your encryption right here. You can see BitLocker is off for the C drive. That means it's not running. It's not encrypting our data on our C drive. It's just using the BitLocker to go feature for removable data drives. And you can see right here, there's some information you can click on to change passwords, remove password, add a smart card, turn on auto unlock, and also turn off BitLocker and all that sort of stuff right here. If you want to decrypt it completely, you can do and have it working again as a normal drive. So that's basically how you can set that up. And once I close this off and pull the USB flash drive out of the computer, what will happen is it will go into lock mode. So if you refresh it, it's still going to be unlocked. I can still access it right here. So what I need to do is unplug the USB flash drive and plug it back in. And what will happen, it will then ask you for the password. You will see access denied basically here because it is encrypted and it is locked. So I click OK, and now you can see the padlock is on that USB flash drive. If I plug this into a random computer and try to double click on it to access the content in here, it's going to say you need to enter a password to unlock this USB flash drive. And if you don't know that password, it's basically going to lock you out and you're not going to be able to do anything right here. So until you type that password in, like I'm going to do right here now, let me just type this password out and we will basically gain access to our drive. Now, of course, you can use software like 1Password, Bitwarden. If you want to store passwords that way, you can do. This is a more personal method because you can keep this USB flash drive on your person all times. And if you lost it, it's going to have an encryption on it. Now, you can't gain access to this because it's locked. You would need to unlock the passwords as well. So you'd need 2 passwords to gain access to the sensitive information like passwords for your bank or something like that. And there we go. We've now got access to this. We don't need to drag it out. We can open it up right here, copy out our password, and basically shut that and close off this. And it's not going to keep a storage of that document on the PC because we opened it inside the zip file. And that's it. That's basically how you can secure your USB flash drives. And if you just want to gain access to it all day and you don't want to keep pulling it in and out of the computer, it will be opened. It will only lock when you pull the flash drive out and plug it back in. So just remember that. Also, this method is great if you've left your USB flash drive plugged in the computer with other information on there, but your passwords are stored on a separate 256-bit encryption file, which even if they clicked on it, they would have to put the password in every single time to gain access to that. So it's still going to be secure, apart from any other stuff that you have on there, like photos that might not be in a separate container. Anyway, with that said, I hope this one helps you out. It's a really safe way of storing all your sensitive information. My name has been Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Bye for now.